Hey everyone, welcome back, Beast of the Kitchen. I have no idea what season this is. I know we didn't do too many episodes last year because I started new work, so that's just how it goes. But I know this has been a crazy summer for everyone, a lot of craziness in the world, but one thing is we always have food. So I know it's getting to be now into the fall. Easy, people want to do potlucks. There's going to be holiday parties, anything, whatever you call it nowadays. But you always want to bring something. But everyone says, oh, I got to bake, got to do all this stuff. I'm so busy. Let me show you one that's right on the stovetop. It's the easiest thing, and you can bring it to any party that you like. And the key to doing this is you got to do your mise en place, your setup way beforehand. You don't want to be rushing around looking for all these things as you're doing it, because it's going to cook fast and you got to work at it fast. So right here, this stuff here, I know this looks like a lot here, but this is all the stuff that gets cooked. This is all the stuff that goes after the fact. That's why I have it separated. So I'm gonna get this started. I gotta turn my induction on. I'm gonna lower this a little bit. Basically, a stick of butter or margarine, either one. It matters not which, it works for both. I'm gonna get that going. Turn that up a little bit. Yeah, a lot of new changes in the chef's life, and I'm sure in everybody else's as well. So, times a little, challenging out there, but let's all try to work together and make this, make it a little bit easier on everybody. So now we're melting over here. It's just starting to get there. I'm gonna break it up a bit, maybe it'll help. This is margarine that I'm using right now, but you can use, the original recipe was butter. This recipe came from a woman in Maine, and I kind of changed it a little bit. So I'm just moving around trying to melt it a little bit quicker. So I just raised the heat just a little bit to get that melted. There we go. I'm gonna add some milk to this. This is half of whole milk, skim milk, whatever you like. So far I've only used whole, but I'm sure skim would work. I'm sure it would work splendidly. Yeah, these are always a big hit when I've brought them somewhere. And to be honest, most of the time I make them just for myself. It's easy. Most of the things you pretty much have at home. And if there's a last minute thing at work, potlucks at work, or just something, now too with the holidays, those cookie exchanges, this works fine too. And you don't have to, doesn't keep your kitchen as hot because you're not baking. There's no stove involved with this one. All right, now it's usually 2.5 cups of sugar. I think I only did like about 1.5. It doesn't need as much sugar as I thought. We want to cook the sugar in. I'm going to hold on to this so I don't drop it everywhere and make a fool out of myself. Get that sugar melted. And usually the original recipe had cocoa powder, unsweetened cocoa powder, about 3 tablespoons. But something I've been working on, and it came out actually pretty well. This is 3 tablespoons of hazelnut spread. Which takes a little bit longer to melt, but trust me, it's worth it. Quick little clean up there, so you can see me. And now we're gonna incorporate this. This one actually melts pretty quickly. But the cocoa powder would work a little bit quicker, but trust me, it's well worth it. And you can get the no-name brand hazelnut spread pretty cheap. So. Now, as you see, it's all melted, but we need to get this to a boil. Just raise it a tad bit. Kind of scraping down the sides. Rubber spatula works best for this. No thermometer needed for this recipe like you might have seen me do with other things, with like candy making and stuff like that. But this one, it's just getting it to a nice little boil. I'm gonna grab something real quick. I have this here. See, it's just starting to get to a boil. You want a deep pot for this. I made some of these last night. I used a smaller pot and it worked, but I was like, Usually say by a minute, but once you get it to a rolling boil, my original recipe was a minute, but it actually works in like, you just wait like 30 seconds. That is what we call a rolling boil. And this is what we call shutting it off. So now it's ready. Take that, put that on here. Vanilla extract, a teaspoon. Eight ounces peanut butter. I've never used chunky, so I don't know if it will work, but I'm sure it would. But this is smooth. And it's still hot enough where it's gonna melt in there. See, this is why I was saying you gotta work fast. You don't want this to cool down. You want this to, you gotta do it, it's not something you can go off and do the cha-cha or anything, go change your playlist. You gotta get cracking. And this is my little takeout container. Quick Oats, 3 cups. Not the old-fashioned. The Quick Oats you want for this one. Have I ever tried it with the old-fashioned? No, but I got a funny feeling it might not work as well since old-fashioned takes a little longer to cook. So, a little bit. Always incorporate. Just like that, mix it in a little bit more. Scraping the sides. That's why you want spatula, a rubber spatula. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going. And you can do it, get in there, and the last of it. Oh, like 3 stages, I guess you can say. I'm telling you, you're gonna be the talk of the town once you start making these. Okay, see how I have it now all incorporated? That's perfect. Now, with all this glumlada out of the way, I don't want all this in the way here, because in advance, wax paper on a cookie sheet. This is not going in the oven, this is just where it's going. This is it right here. But this is where you can use a spoon, you can use this. Use an ice cream scoop like I'm doing. It matters not which. This one just makes it a little bit more uniform. You can use a smaller scoop. You can make a bunch of tiny small ones. I'm a big guy, so I tend to make these. When someone first taught me this, I want to say like 13, 14 years ago, she said you have to make sure that rolling boil is very important. Let these set. They're gonna go in the fridge for a bit, and we'll be right back.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Hey, welcome back everyone. Cookies are setting somewhere. You want them to cool off on the counter for a bit, and then you can put them in the fridge. I always store them in the fridge anyways because I like them cold. But I think as long as you got an airtight container, I think you'd be fine. But they need to set for a bit. You're not going to eat those too quickly anyways. But here's something else that basically you can just make to make any type of a pie you're going to make, you know, a Toll House or whatnot, a cheesecake. Because people always say, oh, gee, I have to go out and get the crust for it. I got to go out and get the graham cracker crust for it. So it's like, well, you probably have everything in your house to make something. I bet you do. So his food processor. Now, I was looking around. I have so many different like cookies and everything, but I found these. Christmas cookies, all different assortments. And they're still good. Yep, they're still good. This one's mine. So I'm gonna stuff these suckers in here. Yeah, all mixed kinds, doesn't matter. As long as they're tight, these things will work. We don't throw anything away, Portuguese people. You can tell by the thinness from last Christmas. I'll clean that out, that'll end up someone's gift. All right. I'll pulse them. With some nice crumbs. Some are a little chunky, but not anymore, they're chunky. All right. Now, this is very simple, very easy, and I gotta find something. Okay. Here's that. Take this off for a second. Brown sugar, 1/4 of a cup. I had to think about that for a second. Now this recipe calls for either 6 tablespoons of butter, margarine, and believe it or not, you can use canola oil. I know that might not sound like something you'd use, but believe it or not, canola oil works. If you use canola oil, I wouldn't use 1/4 of a cup, you might need a little less. It actually binds it. I just melted that in the microwave, nothing special. And do it slowly, so it comes together. See, just like that. See how it's kind of all binding together? And you can throw in some vanilla extract if you want. I feel like I use vanilla extract a lot, so, you know, one of these days I'll buy some, when I can afford, I'll buy some maple extract, see if that works. It's gonna be that time of the year, so. Oh, needs peppercorns. All right. Everything's toast in the kitchen. Make sure everything's unplugged. This comes off. Careful with your blade. Put that right there to safety. This middle piece comes off too. Dollar store. And when you forget it at someone's house, you're not gonna worry about, oh gee, I left my good Pyrex over there. This. In here. This one does not need baking off. This kind of crust you wouldn't do like apple pie. Well, you could, but I mean, I don't think you would. This is more for like a cheesecake or whatnot, pumpkin. Get in there, sucker. But before you do start throwing things in here, this is gonna set in the fridge. Look at that, with old cookies. You didn't have to go out and buy anything. There we go. Set it in the fridge. And that's it. See you in a bit.
Selfless service is the guiding principle of every Army National Guard soldier. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. To be an Army National Guard soldier is to serve something greater than yourself. Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, and athlete because a kidney transplant gave him a second chance at life, made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as a donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Boy, did these take forever to set. But it happened. Put them in the fridge, and there you have it. Just make sure to warn people if they got a nut allergy, because there is peanut butter in it, but they are good. Crust this setting in the fridge, and I'll show you a filling next week for that one. So we don't have time today, so it was nice to be back. You know, send me an email. You have my email. I think I posted up there. If you're on YouTube, subscribe if you feel like it. And we'll be talking soon. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.